Good to have you back to the channel. Okay, now this is serious. Please come closer. You cannot ignore what is going on in the Horn of Africa, Ethiopia. To inform you, people in the region are now witnessing a state of anarchy. More so in the Tigray region, and civil war looms large. May become inevitable. And then Ethiopia may become a failed state if nothing is done urgently. Stay with me, let me take you through the cause of conflicts. And let me clear this. I am speaking as a concerned African. I do not belong or subscribe to any ideology of war in the region. So grab a cup, of course a cup of tea, and then subscribe. Okay, now let us examine what's really going on now. And well, to inform you, different quarters have reported killings in their thousands within the region. However, the numbers of killings I will share with you were based on report of 5 months ago. Okay, now you see, almost 2,000 people were killed in more than 150 massacres by soldiers and paramilitaries and insurgents in Tigray, as identified by researchers studying the conflict. The oldest, victims were in their 90s, and the youngest were infants. And this is dated, like I said, 2nd of April. Okay, now that said, again, you will be surprised to hear that not only guns are being used to kill people, particularly in the Tigray region, other weapons of war are now being deployed. What am I trying to say? Okay, now stay with me. I will break it down. You see, before now, we're in September now. You see, the United Nations humanitarian chief foresee a catastrophe and warned that the 1984 famine that killed more than 1 million Ethiopians could occur again if aid access to that country northern region is not quickly improved, scaled up, and properly funded. The report was dated 15/20/21. Okay, stay with me. Now let us see if the prediction has manifested. Let's have a look. Now, what do we have here? And this report is dated 7 September 2021, meaning it is very recent. You see, at least from the report, 150 people starved to death last month in Ethiopia embattled Tigray region amid a near complete blockade of food aid by federal and allied authorities. The Tigray forces says, while close to 500,000 people face famine conditions. And it goes to say the starvation death occur in 6 communities, as well as in camps for hundreds of thousands of internally displaced people in the town of Shire, according to late Monday news by Tigray External Affairs Office. Now, stay with me on this. The question is, what is causing the food shortage, hence starvation in the region? Stay with me, let me explain. You see, humanitarian food cargo are being delayed and blocked by Ethiopian authorities who fear aid might reach the Tigrayan force, who have been fighting Ethiopian and allied force for the past 10 months after a political fallout. You see, consequently, not only the soldiers are now starving, but also civilian populations. Well, I think you need to hear this. A spokeswoman for Ethiopian Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed did not immediately respond to a request for comment. However, the government has asserted that the aid is reaching Tigray region and has blamed Tigray force and insecurity for any problems. You see, nobody wants to take responsibility for the killing through starvation. Meanwhile, stay with me, let me tell you the genesis of the problem. Okay, now, you see, the national election was due in Ethiopia in August 2020, where that did not happen. Why? Because the country election committee in March confirmed that polls will be postponed because of the virus pandemic. Thereafter, the lawmakers voted to extend the official mandate. The government of Abiy and his cabinet, which was due to have expired by October 2020. Well, just as you think, no cause for alarm. No. The Tigray leaders rejected this proposal and considers Abiy government as illegitimate, and then went ahead with their regional elections in September, contrary to what Abiy government expected. So, you may like to ask me, what is the implication of all this? Well, now each other sees the other as illegitimate, and federal legislators have ruled Abiy's government should cut off contact with funding of the region, the Tigray leadership, if you like. And shortly afterwards, a brigadier from Addis Ababa, Ethiopia, was posted to the Tigray region, but was rejected by the Tigray Regional Government Party, who claimed that, and I quote, his appointment would not be considered legitimate, end quote, by one of the general called Reda, a senior official rather, with the Tigray People's Liberation Front. Consequently, on the 4th of November 2020, security force loyal to the Tigray People's Liberation Front attacked the headquarters of Northern Command of the Ethiopian National Defense Army in Mekele. And Mekele is the capital city of Tigray region. As a result of this attack, several people were said to have been killed, hundreds sustained injuries, and property were destroyed. Subsequently, Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed declared military operation in the region, which inevitably has resulted in more casualty, if you like, killings on both sides. You see, as a result of this, thousands have fled the fighting and airstrike in Tigray region. And during this period, it was reported that at least 21,000 Ethiopians had fled across border into Sudan, which is according to Sudan Refugee Agency report. And to remind you, during that period, Abiy government shut down facilities like electricity, telephone, internet services in the Tigray region. And in response, the Tigray leaders or administration, if you like, also shut down all aspects of transportation, including flights, in retaliation to the government action. Wow. That's what I call tit for tat. Okay, let us fast forward to the recent ongoing development in the region. You see, as the fighting continues, new factions have now joined. For instance, the Eritrean force are now fighting alongside of the Abiy's army against the TIGRAINS. Okay, now let's take a pause here. The question is, who invited them? Please let me know in the comment section. And then you should listen to these statistics. Yeah, I want to show you now. And according to these statistics, Eritrean force, for instance, are now fighting alongside Abiy. Like I said, okay. The figure I want to show you, it says Eritrean soldiers appear to have been responsible for 14% of the killings. Eritrean troops who have fought alongside federal forces, 45%. Wow. And let me repeat that. Eritrean troops who have fought along federal forces, 45%. Perhaps you do not understand what I'm saying. Let me repeat that. Ethiopian soldiers, we are talking about the killing now. Ethiopian soldiers appear to have been responsible for 40% of the killings. Eritrean troops who have fought alongside federal forces, 45%, and irregular paramilitary from the neighboring province of Amhara, 5%. You agree with me? It's very, very messy. Again, You should hear about this development, and this is key information. Fighting has begun between Ethiopia's two largest ethnic groups, the Oromo, yes, Oromo, and the Amhara. Wow. Okay, listen to this. Other spokesperson, another faction, from Amhara region, and I quote him. He said, "The fighting has been between heavily armed and battle-hardened Amhara special forces and Oromo farmers who carry AK-47 as part of their tradition." End quote. You see, as a concerned Africa, I am privileged to have spoken to some Ethiopians in diaspora some months ago about the ongoing conflict, which could result in civil war anyway. Again, several people gave me diverse reasons. Some argue along the line of ethnicity, while some disapprove of Abiy's government wanting to impose on them Amharic as lingua franca of the nation. And some argue that the cause of the dispute is because Tigraians, who does not believe in power sharing, because they believe they should always remain in power. Okay, you need to hear this. The situation is now becoming tricky. Yes, so the US threatens sanctions over the conflicts in Ethiopia concerning the ongoing development in the nation. However, now listen to this. According to a report, some percentage of Ethiopia's success in the past and present is likely due to trade partnership with the US. Yes, you heard me. That said, you see, some school of thought then have argued that America may not likely impose sanction on Ethiopia. Question is why? Where? Because Ethiopia industrial part is occupied by American multinational companies benefiting from Ethiopia tax relief introduced decades ago. Again, Ethiopia is also America's strategic ally in this part of Africa. America doesn't want to lose that. Well, you see, nonetheless, you see, I feel for Abiy Ahmed political future. He is in the middle of all this conflict. The country is very much polarized along ethnicity. While Abiy is trying to unite the people, more so he strongly support the use of Amhara as the lingua franca, since the language was officially the lingua franca. Though he himself is not from that region, is an Oromo, where his people, the Oromo, is completely against it. Now, you see how this Peace Nobel Prize winner is now entangled in a web of uncertainties and danger. That's it. The ongoing development, in my opinion, should be resolved ASAP. Ethiopia should not be allowed to slide into a state of anarchy, hence a civil war that could split the nation. Why? Because you see, let me tell you again what Ethiopia means. Ethiopia is a focal point for all African countries. Yes, you had me right. And stability in Ethiopia is very, very key to the Organization of African Union, now African Union. The headquarters of the African Union is in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia. So an attempt to destabilize the headquarters could have a ripple effect on all African countries. That's it. Now, what is your opinion? What do you think can be done to avert this danger that looms large in the region? Okay, now here comes the best part. Subscribe, like, and comment. Remember, the goal is to generate wealth, build companies, and then create jobs. Bye now. See you soon.